everyone, it's Andrea. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Today, I am coming to you to talk to you about accounting. And I feel like a lot of notaries already know about this. However, for those newer notaries who are struggling to figure out how a loan signing agent manages all of this, I'm going to show you a program that helps. Ooh, it helps so much. So it's called Notary Gadget. And Notary Gadget helps with your calendar. It helps with invoicing. It helps with mileage. Like, it just helps with so many things. And I feel like Notary Gadget is a must, absolute must. However, there are other programs out there that are very similar to Notary Gadget. For example, Notary Assist. And I did try Notary Assist a little bit, but I'm a little biased, I guess, because I started with Notary Gadget. I was very familiar with Notary Gadget, and so I tried to merge over to Notary Assist for the sake of this video. However, it was so much going on, I couldn't keep up Notary Gadget and Notary Assist. So you know that program is out there as well, Notary Assist. And it's very similar to Notary Gadget, but at the end of the day, I ended up really liking Notary Gadget more. Now, my accountant wants me to use Quicken, what's it called? QuickBooks, there we go, QuickBooks. And I just don't have the time to learn. It's probably super easy, probably just as easy as Notary Gadget, but I can't find the time to just carve out and devote to learning QuickBooks. But it's on my to-do list. But Notary Gadget really helps me stay organized, and I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. So let me share my screen. All right, so with Notary Gadget, it is $9.99 a month, I believe. And trust and believe, it is worth every penny, So it is $9.99 a month. Your first 15, you see here, your first 15 signings you can put in for absolutely free. So it gives you a trial period of 15 signings. Now, once you put in your 15th signing, it is going to want you to set up a payment plan, a monthly subscription, or I think you can also pay for the year and do that. However, in the very beginning, it gives you 15 signings to do to just try out the program. Now, with the trial period, you don't get 100% of everything. I'm going to tell you and talk a little bit about what you're missing out on. However, you are getting a good bit with just the trial period. All right, so this is what the main page looks like. And I absolutely love this screen because I find myself in competition with myself every single month, not competition with somebody else, but competition with myself, because typically I want to do better than the last month. And so I'm striving. Now, some months I can't because of family obligations, because of my job, my full-time job, but this page here motivates me so much because I want to see these numbers go up. All right, so up at the top, you have the home screen, which is this page here. It has a signings tab, a calendar, expenses, customer reports, and settings. And so when you first start, you immediately want to go into settings and get all of this squared away. But in your settings, you're going to, let's see, you're going to put in like your default location. You're going to put in what you want your invoices to look like, what your email is going to be, just different stuff. So you want to set that up, and then you're ready to rock and roll. So let's pretend we have our very first signing. No, I already put some signings in here, as you can see. So I had one signing in August, and I have one signing in September. So it shows you these little bar graphs, so you can kind of monitor. I mean, shucks, you can kind of monitor what month in the year is really your heavy hitters. Like some people say December because so many people are getting cash out for Christmas. But you can kind of look at this and tell what month in the year was like your overall big month. But then you can kind of look at, click down here, money of signings, and you can kind of tell how much you made each month. And this page here is really what my motivator is. Like, okay, I want to make sure I'm making over $200 this month. So I want to accept more appointments so I can make my goal. So this is the main page. So let's pretend like we have a signing, and it's really easy to import this information. All right, so let's pretend we have a signing. It's with a new customer. So let's say it's with company XYZ title. And we can put all of this information in, but for time's sake, I'm not going to put all of this in. We're just going to leave it blank. And then over here, do you want to be alerted that you need to send an invoice or not? So for example, there are some companies that I do not have to invoice. They automatically handle that piece. And so I do not ever have to remind them to pay me my money. I like those companies. But then there are companies where I need to send them invoices once a month or invoice them right after signing or whatever the case may be. Those companies are nice too. They're fine. As long as they pay me on time, they're fine. But there are some companies out there that I end up invoicing 3, 4, 5 times because they have not paid me. So over time, you will come to realize what companies you want to work for, what companies you do not. The same way they can hire us and fire us is the same way we can hire them and fire them. So in the end, if we end up finding that there's a company out there that I have to keep hounding for my money, it's been 60, 90, 100 days, then we want to make a mental note that we do not want to work with those companies. But that has nothing to do with this video. I'm sorry. All right, so you want to decide whether you want to, whether you need to invoice them or not. So let's say I don't need to invoice this company. They're on their game, they're on their stuff, they know what they're doing. I don't need to invoice them. We're going to hit save. So all right, now we're still in the signing. We're keying in this information. Let's say the signer's name is Susan Boo. Susan Boo, that's her name. We're going to skip company because oftentimes I don't need that information, but I do want to put in a phone number for Susan Boo. Susan Boo, and this is the signer's name. This is the signer's name, and this right here is the company that you're working for. All right, so it has a space where we can add a second signer. However, Susan Boo, she's single, she's dipping and doing. So we're gonna leave Susan Boo by herself, and we're gonna put in a good address. So I'm gonna put in, this address. This is the address that I'm meeting Susan Boo at. I'm gonna meet her on Monday at 8 p.m. And so as you can see, this can connect with your Google Calendar. It will send you text messages reminding you of your appointment. It will send email reminders to the signer. So once you put in the email address, it can send them emails. And like I said, it can send text messages. You can say, how long before the appointment do you want a message sent out? And I try to pick all of these because I do not want to miss an appointment. Oh my goodness, I haven't done that yet. But sometimes people tend to forget. Sometimes people forget to put it on the calendar, on their Notary Gadget, whatever the case may be. And so I prefer to be reminded every which way possible. Through email, through text message, through whatever means, remind me, please. All right. So schedule an email reminder for the signer. You can do that. That's where it's an email reminder for the signer. And then your fee. Let's say your fee, This is an actual title company. They're paying big money. So we're saying $250. This will be like the order number that might be on the confirmation page and the tracking number. So you won't have the tracking number, obviously, until you have the documents. And that shipping label will be in with the document. So you can key in that information as well. And then you're going to hit save. Once you hit save, this page will come up. Now, I do want to point out that when you have the paid version, you have a few more options that I absolutely love. For example, one of the top buttons up here is confirm the appointment. And it will be green if you've checked that you have confirmed the appointment, and it will be orange if you have not. And I absolutely love that feature because that lets me, that's another reminder whether I did or didn't. So if I didn't, you can check off that you left a message. You can check off that you sent a text message, whatever the case may be. And you can be mindful because it's tracking. Every single time you put something in, it tracks that information. Okay, so we've already said that for XYZ title, we do not need to invoice them. So that is green, we're good there. This will allow, this button here, enter mileage, will calculate your mileage from your starting point. So typically your starting point oftentimes is your home, or whatever the case may be. Whatever you put in that settings tab is your starting point. So I can click the mileage there. Oh, look, it's only going to take me 2 miles, 8 minutes to get to that appointment and back. But let's say you have several appointments back to back, it will ask you, do you want to track mileage from the last appointment to the next appointment to your home, or do you just want to track to and from? So that is a great option there, and it calculates all that mileage. It calculates it. I absolutely love it. All right, so I click the mileage. It also wants you to figure out how many notarial acts you actually notarize. Keep in mind, our notarial acts are, there's a tax deduction there, and Notary Gadget will help you do that. But there's definitely a tax deduction. And so I always, and I know that some notaries do not do this, but I always try to look at my notary journal and add up how many documents that I notarize, and then put it into Notary Gadget, because at the end of the year, Notary Gadget is going to help me with my tax deductions, okay? All right, so we don't have all of this information yet. We have not gone to the appointment. So then we're just going to click the X button because we have everything keyed in, ready to go. All right, so then we're gonna go to calendar. And so as you can see on the calendar, I've already played with some stuff. So for example, that one appointment I had in October, still, you can see that I might have a training coming up. So I can put that on here, and it's a completely different color. It's going to be purple, showing that there's something scheduled for that day. It's not a loan signing or anything like that, but I do need to be mindful that there's an appointment scheduled for that day, and that I can't double book myself and put a signing during that 9 o'clock time slot because I have training. And then that other appointment that I had for September. And so it shows me the calendar. I've even blocked off some days for vacation. So here's how you block off some days. So you click this Blackout Days, and then we're going to say out of the office. We're going to say that we're out of the office on the 24th, which is probably the worst day to be out of the office because that's the end of the month. And that's when we're making some good money. So, but we're out, we can't help it. We're out of the office. It has now blocked off all of these days. And keep in mind, I have it set so that all of this still shows up on my Google Calendar. So if you're someone who uses your Google, Calendar quite frequently, this will merge perfectly fine with it. Let's say we have another event. Let's say teaching class. And we don't have to fill in this information, but I just want it to be on my calendar so I do not forget. We're gonna say 9:15 a.m. to 12 p.m. I like reminders, 15 minutes. If I click add to my Google, it's gonna want me to connect my Google Calendar. But for the sake of the fact that this is simply a demonstration, I'm not gonna click that, but this is where you'd click if you wanted to add to your Google Calendar. See you, no, I can't do that. All right, so typically I'd put a reminder, but I can't put a reminder if it's not connected to my Google Calendar. All right, we're gonna click save, and there is our teaching class. So I know that that's on my calendar. I can't book a signing during that time. And it's a completely different color, which I love because it stands out. Now, when you have the paid version, your appointments that have not been confirmed, those appointments that you have not marked confirmed will be in red. And I like the fact that that stands out because that lets me know that I still need to do something with those signings. Like I've left a voicemail or I've sent a text message and haven't heard anything. So I need to attempt to reach out yet again, okay? So those appointments will be highlighted in red if I have not notified Notary Gadget that I have confirmed those appointments. But the appointments that I have confirmed, they will be in black. Any trainings will be in purple, and vacation or blackout days will be blacked out like this. All right, so that's your calendar. Now that we have put this one in, let's go back to our home screen. And look at our money, honey. Look at our money. So this, I'm telling you, this is the part that motivates me because as I see that bar keep going up, I want to take more and more appointments. Yes, love it. And then you can also look at the number of signings you had that month. And there are different ways that you can look at this. For example, you have the last 10 weeks, and you can look at it like that. If you have other years, you can compare last year's to this year. Just good stuff on this page. Nothing but motivators. All right. So if we look over here, we see some things. First of all, we have one upcoming signing, which is that one we just put in for XYZ title on the 13th, I think. And then there's one signing we did, but I did not send the invoice. So what do you want? Continue. All right. So this is the one that we did on the 31st. So I have not yet sent the invoice. Maybe it's a company where I need to invoice every month, or maybe I've just forgotten to send the invoice. So I really like this tab over here because this lets me know if there's something that I need to do, because at the end of the day, I want my money, I want to get paid. And so if what's holding me up from getting paid is the fact that I have not sent an invoice, I need to get on it. All right, so far it shows that we have entered in all of our mileage. And sometimes I do not enter in the mileage until after I've done the signing. Therefore, I know if I have other appointments, I may not know exactly how that work out. I may not realize that I'll have to come back home in between appointments or whatever the case may be. So it's okay if you don't do this part until the end. Same with notarial acts not entered. It's okay if you don't do this until the end. It will be perfectly fine. But let's look at these two companies that I have not entered into the notarial acts. So your state will dictate how much you get per notarial act. And in the state of Maryland, we get $4. So in the settings tab, it asks you that question as well. And you would key that in, and then it will determine, based on what you've keyed in, how much you're actually receiving. So let's look at this signing that we did with Susie Boom. And we were supposed to get $250. And so it calculated how much money, and I don't know how much I put in there for mileage, but it will calculate how much was that I gained minus mileage. And if I put in here that there were 14 notarial acts, there were 14 documents, and I probably can't do it. No, let's see. There were 14 documents that I notarized. So in essence, that is $56 in notarial fees. When I put that in there, yes. When I put that in there, it enters that information in as well. And so it's tracking all of this information for you, which makes life easier at the end of the year. All right, so we're back at our home screen. We see that we have one signing that's unpaid. But let's say that they paid me. Yay, I got paid. This was for the signing we did on August 31st. So we click on that signing, and we can put in, click on the balance due tab, and we can put in that they sent me a check. Check number was 123, and the check amount was for $200. Yay, hit save. And when you go back to the home screen, it's now no longer there. It monitors how many companies or how many signings you've done that are 0 to 30 days. Then it monitors how many signings you've done that have been 31 to 60 days and still unpaid. And then this one down here will be red. We don't like any red ones. But it monitors how many signings you have done that have reached 60 days or more of being unpaid. So all of these, I really like to look at these quite a bit because I don't like anything to be in the red. I do like to make sure I put my notarial acts in there. Like I like to make sure I'm doing my stuff. All right. So then the next tab is expense, and we have expenses. This is not free. For example, that printer. Printers right now are ridiculous. They are ridiculous. So let's put in here expense is we had to buy a printer. Office supplies, $600. Yeah. Let's say we got it from Amazon. Yeah, printers are ridiculous. We're gonna save this. You can put in other notes, whatever you want. You can put in, oh, I got it at a 30% coupon or whatever you want. And then you're gonna hit save. All right, so now we've keyed this in here. Ignore this one right quick. We've keyed this in here that we purchased a printer from Amazon. Let's go back to our home screen now. Ouch. Look at that red, look at that red. So it is showing you that you've done 2 signings this month. Let me go back to that. You've done three total signings this year, excuse me. 3 total signings this year. In total, you made $600. Not bad, not bad at all. However, that $600 went towards a printer, and so here is your profit. Right now, your profit is at a -8. Your average profit is at a -$2.61. Okay, so this I love too because I always want to be in the green, but when you're first starting out, when I first started out, it was in the red. It was in the red. It stayed there for a little bit. I started out at the end of the year, so I really didn't see green until the following year. But this at least is keeping track of all of this stuff. Another expense is every time you go to FedEx, every time you go to UPS, all of that needs to be put into your expense account. You hit expense, we're gonna say mileage. I happen to know that FedEx from my house is 4 miles to, 4 miles from, so a total of 8 miles I went, and it said the federal rate is 0.56 as far as the pay, and then we're gonna click save. And so I went to FedEx today, and me going to FedEx cost me $4.48. All of this, like I said before, is going towards this, right? So you're able to see all of these different ways of viewing this information. Who knows, your accountant might ask for it, your tax person might ask for it. So you want to make sure that you are notating everything that you buy, pins, your notary journal, Notary Gadget, this needs to be on there. And you can do a reoccurring transaction, your paper, your toner, your drums, just everything, your notary bag, your notary seals if you need to buy more, hand sanitizer if you bring hand sanitizer to your closings, like everything needs to be on there, so that when it comes time for taxes, you already have it going. You've been working on it all year long. It's not you jumbling a whole bunch of receipts together and trying to figure all of this stuff out. Notary Gadget will help you as long as you key in the information, as long as you're willing to help yourself. All right. So then when we go over to the customers tab, these are all the people you've worked with. So we've worked with ABC Company, we've worked with General Notary Work, and you can key in your General Notary Work on here as well. We've worked with XYZ Title. This tells you how many signings you've done with them. So for example, I've done 2 signings with ABC Company. And this over here tells you how much money you've made with them. So far with ABC Company, I've made $350. And this over here shows you how much is still pending, how much they still owe you with that company. So for example, ABC Company, they own their game. They've been sending me my money. They don't owe me anything else. But XYZ Company, they owe me $250. And that is for the signing that I have yet to do. So it's totaling up everything that was done in the past and everything that you keyed in for the future. All right, so these reports, I don't know if they'll work very well because like I said, I did not go through the settings and key in a whole bunch of information. But these reports will help you do your end of the year stuff. So let's see, it did work. All right, so here's your end of the year reporting, and you can manipulate this to what you need. But for example, it tells you what we've kind of already gone over. It tells you how much you received total income for the year, gives you total expense for the year. So as you can see, we had some expense for that printer. We had some expense for travel and mileage. And then this, if we had entered in our notarial acts, that would be there as well. Like I said, some stuff is missing simply because I did not go into the settings and key in all of the information, but the reporting feature for Notary Gadget is really, really easy. They also have this unpaid invoices, and you can use this to see how much is still unpaid. So for example, that appointment we have coming up on the 13th with Susie Boo, that hasn't been paid, obviously, because I haven't done it yet. But it shows you how much is unpaid for upcoming appointments, and it shows you how much is unpaid for completing appointments. And so this, this here really, like this, I went to the mileage report. It gives you all of this information about your mileage. So you did a total of 22 miles, and that equals $12.32. Now imagine, mind you, this is for 3 signings. 3 signings. Last year I did what, 400, 500 signings? Imagine what the mileage is for that. Imagine if you're doing this full time, and what your mileage will be, and what your notarial acts will be, and all of that. Like this tracks all of that. And so you want to stay up on it. You want to make sure you're entering in this information so that at the end of the year, it's as simple as going to reports, mileage report, generate report, hit print. Here you go, tax accountant, this is my mileage for the year. Here you go, tax person, this is how many notarial acts and like all of my business expense and all of that stuff. Super, super easy, right? So this, like I said, I love Notary Gadget. It helps me so much, and I am so glad that somebody told me about Notary Gadget, because last year when I went to do my taxes, man, I didn't have to do much at all. Now, Notary Assist, like I said, it's very similar. If you're, in my opinion, it just did not have the look to me. When I, was thinking about my career choices back in high school, I used to want to be a graphic designer. So colors and stuff, I attract. I'm attracted to colors and things that look pretty. But Notary Assist didn't really give me that. So it really gave me the accountant feel. It's absolutely legit, but it really gave me the accountant feel. But there's one thing about it that I really didn't care for, and that may be because I could have changed some things in settings. I don't know, but let me show you. Go back to share screen. So when I am on my calendar, and let's say I'm in Salisbury for my appointment on the 13th, and someone calls me and asks me to go to, I don't know, Baltimore. Baltimore is far. I would never go to Baltimore for signing, but let's say I went to Baltimore. I'm gonna wanna know how much time I have from this Salisbury signing to my Baltimore signing. Notary Assist on their calendar did not give me the town. What it gave me was the person's last name. And that didn't sit well with me. I want to know if someone's calling me for an appointment that is 30 minutes away. I want to know, okay, I know I'm going to be in Salisbury on such and such day. It's going to take me 45 minutes to do the appointment, which is what I like to give myself, an hour or 45 minutes. And then I'm going to be traveling for 30 minutes. Like, all of this is going through my head, but with Notary Assist, I had to actually click on the appointment and see what the appointment was, and then try to figure out what's a good time, whether I can make that particular signing at that designated time and so forth. Whereas with Notary Gadget, it shows me the city and I can map it out in my head fairly quickly. So, like I said, that may be an easy settings feature, but I didn't have the time to go look for that. But Notary Assist is very similar to Notary Gadget in that it tracks your mileage, it tracks all of this other stuff so that it makes tax easier when it comes to reporting. And of course, like I told you earlier, there's also QuickBooks that a lot of people love, and I just haven't had the time to learn it. All right, so that is how I keep track with all of my accounting, all of my mileage, all of my tax stuff, all of my expenses. That's what I use, and it works. It merges with my Google Calendar, and it's really easy and user-friendly, and I love the look and appeal to it. It really strikes me as with all the colors and greens and oranges and reds, stuff that really stand out. All right, so new notaries, check it out. Use the 15 signing feature, and then try out Notary Assist and see which one you like the best. My opinion is not gospel at all. It's just my own personal opinion. Hope that helps. Please like and subscribe. Please, I really love the emails. You all have some wonderful questions. The comments that you all leave, I absolutely love it. Keep it coming. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.